When we come with that heat, we got skip on the.
Public fades. We are here at the Super Bowl. We made it. Mama, we made it. And yeah, I guess I can't do the whole episode like this, unfortunately. So I guess it's just time to rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get this over with. I shaved. And honestly, I kind of like it. I think it looks clean. I know I look like I'm 12 years old, but it's still me. It's the same me. And we're going to be fading the public the same. We only have one game. We're here, season finale, if you will. Please don't hate me. Drop it in the comments if you like it. If you don't like it, this, whatever. I kind of like it. We'll be seeing how it looks on the camera when I do the editing, and if I get 2 views, then maybe I need to just let the beard grow back. But maybe this is what breaks us to that next level. Maybe I look more professional. I look more like an actual commentator like this. Maybe ESPN reaches out now that I don't have a beard. Doubtful. But before we get into this Super Bowl matchup ahead of us, I do want to thank everybody once again for a very successful, fun year. Going into the football season, I had no clue that public fades was going to be a thing. And now look, we've even got merch. And this time I'll go ahead and put it on the website for you guys. If you go down to mdminds.com, go get you a hoodie, get you a shirt if you want to. I'm just keeping it in white for now. Maybe I'll add in the black versions as well. But all the merch is black. Why not have something white in there? Anyways, go get you a hoodie or a shirt if you like. Public fades, really appreciate it. But let's do a little recap on the year. How did we get here? Throughout the regular season, we had a very successful regular season. 41-23 was the record. Last week, or I guess technically 2 weeks ago, last round in the conference championships, we went 1-1 in those 2 games, bringing us to 4-5 during the playoffs. Now, we have one of 2 options going ahead. Luckily for us, we're not 3-6. We're not 2-7. We're not 1-8. We're definitely not 0-9. And as a matter of fact, I haven't gone over all year. I know I've said that before, but I like to reiterate it just a bit. There's not been a single week where we did not have one win at least during the week. Now, there are no other games to make up for it this week. We're either 1-0 or we're 0-1. We're not buying any points. We're taking it straight up how it is this week. I've even got some props to look at since this is the last episode, but none of those will count as official plays. I'm not going to, overload or what do they call it in sports, basketball, padding the stats. I'm not stat padding this week. We're sticking to the model. We're doing it how we've done it all year. And we're going to hope that, hope that we're 1-0. Hope that we're 1-0. Is this a must win or a can't lose week? I guess we'll find out. 41-23 in the regular season. We are now 45-28 overall since week 1. And now going into Super Bowl week, that is a plus 17 difference. Not bad. Not bad. Let's just say your unit size is $100. That doesn't mean you're up $1,700. But if you do the math, it's around $1,200 that you'd be in the positive right now. So that is awesome. If your unit size is $10, that's still plus, $120, a little bit of money in your pocket. So overall, what I'm trying to get at is we done good, kid. We done good. You and me, we done good. So let's break into that conference championship round. The one win was Denver plus 4.5 at home against New England. Right there, 10-7 final. So that's a cash. I really was pulling for Denver to win. I did not want to see New England back in this spot so soon. It's just too soon, right? They just had the dynasty with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and then Brady left and won his own Super Bowl. Belichick struggled. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. We found out, him or Robert Kraft. And not really sure if they're not, then who is? You know what I'm saying? But as far as the game goes, I mean, Jarrett Stidham looked okay. No Bo Nix. He looked all right. But there was one play that cost them the game when you look back on it. And it's just a play that you can't have. It just can't happen if you're Jarrett Stidham. And it did happen. It was a 3rd and long. They were backed up towards their own end zone, or at least in their own red zone, if you will. And he was under pressure, about to get sacked, tried to throw it away, and somehow was ruled a backwards pass. I'm still kind of iffy on that play call, but that's what it was. Set New England up with a 2-play touchdown drive. Drake May on the ground for the only touchdown, or excuse me, not the only touchdown of the game, but the only one for New England, who did struggle to move the ball on a good Denver defense. And then we saw the snowstorm, the blizzard come in that second half, just absolutely flipped the game on its head as far as the weather goes. There was a point where Denver was up 7-0 early in the first quarter. They got held to 4th down. Could have kicked a field goal to make it 10-0, go up by 2 possessions, which would have at least, the game would have been tied if it ended up playing out how it did and forced overtime. But Sean Payton decided to run the ball on 4th and 1 against a defense that was loaded in the box. They had 6 linemen on the defensive line. They stacked the box with the linebackers. There was no yards that was going to be gained on that play. But overall, Stidham looked okay, 17-31, 133 yards through the air, touchdown, and an interception to Christian Gonzalez. On the other side of the ball, Drake May, 10 of 21 for 86 yards. He also had 10 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. And obviously the touchdown was important, but the other play of importance was when Drake May went absolutely rogue, apparently. What happened was Denver was out of timeouts. New England had the ball. First down, wins the game, basically puts the game away. No way for Denver to stop the clock after that. And I can't remember if it was 3rd and 1. I think it was honestly 4th down. I could be wrong, but Drake May went rogue. It's what we learned after the game. It was a designed run to the right. May called it in the huddle that it was a run play and kept it to himself literally. He faked the handoff, bootleg out to the left, picked up the first down. Nobody saw it coming, including New England, the coaches, everybody. That was not what the play was, apparently. And luckily for Drake May, it worked out for him. But I'm sure they would have gone on to win the game regardless. Denver could not move the ball in the snow in that second half. Tried for a couple field goals. Both teams just missing so many field goals in that second half due to the weather. But so the plus 4.5 cash for us, luckily, but New England moves on to the Super Bowl. Now, later on that night, a couple weeks ago, we took the Rams plus 2.5 at Seattle. 31-27 loss for Los Angeles. No pun intended. Rams were down early and then scored before the half to make it a 13-10 lead for Los Angeles. And somehow, some way, Sam Darnold and that Seahawks offense moved the ball right before half, and with just a few seconds left on the clock, found I think that was a JSN touchdown in the back of the end zone. So Seattle took a 4-point lead going into halftime, 17-13, and both teams scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. No touchdowns, no points at all in the fourth quarter. So we did not see the plus 2.5 cash. Even if you bought a point, it still wouldn't have cashed at plus 3.5. But the play that really turned the tide and is something I still struggle with how that even happened was a fumbled punt. Now, this was the second one of the game by this player. I can't remember his name, forgot to write it down. But the first time it happened, he muffed a punt, fell on it. No harm, no foul for Los Angeles. But the second time, he just misjudged it, I guess. Was kind of backpedaling, trying to catch the ball, and just absolutely had the chair pulled out from under him. Slipped, fell, tripped, whatever you want to call it, was falling back trying to make the catch to catch the punt, and that one was not recovered by Los Angeles. Seattle went on to score a touchdown right after that, and it was honestly like one of those plays where, is this guy betting on the game? Is he, that's 2 muff punts. This one just, how do you even explain it? And that was one that really turned the tide, I felt like, in the game. Seattle scored a touchdown. Los Angeles came back. It was like a 3, maybe 4-play drive. Scored a touchdown with Devontae Adams right after that. So it looked like maybe, you're back in the same difference as it was before, but not able to move the ball much. And that Seattle defense is a real deal. New England's defense is the real deal too. I'll get into the Super Bowl matchup in a second, but Matt Stafford still, is he going to win MVP? I think he has my votes, although I don't vote. I don't have a vote, if you will, but Matt Stafford, 22 of 35 on the day, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. One went to Puka Nacua, who had 9 catches, 165 yards and a touchdown. Now, Sammy D, 25 of 36, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns as well. Neither quarterback threw an interception. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 10 catches, 153 yards and a touchdown. And Kenneth Walker III is probably one of the most underrated players in the whole NFL this season. He had 19 carries, 62 yards and a touchdown. Not a whole lot of yards on all those carries, but he's one of those guys that's very, very tough to tackle. He'll run you over. He'll juke you out. He'll run around you. He's so quick that he's a problem. That old Memphis alum, he's a problem. So, anyways, that's how those 2 games in the conference championship round played out. 4-5 here in the playoffs. I was really hoping to go 2-0 last week and make it 5-4, where Super Bowl doesn't necessarily matter. I'd like to win it, obviously, but now we got to win. If we lose this, we're 4-6 in the playoffs, and public fades next year. We'll probably, I'll just probably say screw the playoffs. We're gonna keep it at the regular season, and that's it, because we were 41-23 in the regular season, but 45-28 now overall, and 1 game ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen, and that's it. It's the Super Bowl LX, which stands for 60. In case you don't know Roman numerals, I don't know Roman numerals. I had to look it up. Super Bowl 60. We have the Seahawks and the Patriots. Minus 4.5 for Seattle. Over under set at 45.5. I don't see a whole lot of points being scored. I think the line is set okay, if you look at the over under. But these are 2 really good defenses. I think Seattle is very explosive on offense. New England, not as much. So maybe, maybe Seattle's the one doing all the scoring and it still goes over. But anyways, it's set for 6:30. The broadcast is set for 6:30. I'm sure kickoff will be more like 8 o'clock or something. I don't know. That was a joke. But 6:30 is when the broadcast will begin on NBC and Peacock. We've got 69% of the money, 61% of the bets on Seattle. Now, if you're new to this show, maybe you don't understand what the percentages mean down here, but you basically already have the answer of what what we're going with here on Public Fades. We fade the public week in and week out. And now that, we're out of the regular season, there's not a whole lot of games for me to necessarily pick from, what matchups I like, what I don't like. So we just roll with what we got. And what we got is a Super Bowl. Seattle 16-3 straight up, 14-5 against the spread. New England 17-3 straight up, 14-6 against the spread. So very evenly matched teams. If you look at the records, against the spread, the only difference is in these records is that New England has historically had the easiest schedule all year. Okay. 11 of their 17 regular season games came against teams that ended up firing their coach or already had their coach fired at that point in the year. But let's just take those 11 games out. And if you include the playoffs, they played 9 games against teams that didn't fire their head coach, and they're 9-0. They haven't lost against a team that has not fired their coach. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the stats that matter. Okay? These are the stats that matter. Was this an easy road for New England to get here? Absolutely. But they're here. You can only play who's on your schedule. And they've only lost 3 games. One of those came in week 1 when we had no clue what type of team this was. That came against the Raiders, who now have the first overall pick. Okay. Seattle, I said earlier in the year that the Seahawks, I felt like they were going to be a good team. I felt like Sam Darnold was going to be a very good quarterback. Didn't necessarily see them in the Super Bowl right here, but early on in the year, I think it was week 2 or week 3, they were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I said that I'm a Raji guy. Seattle at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was the favorite. Seattle was going to win. I called it. And I've said multiple times early on in the year, and now as they've proven themselves, we've ridden with Seattle quite a bit during public fades here in the 2025 season. I just didn't realize how good they'd be. I didn't realize that their defense was going to be as dominant as they've been. Sam Darnold has had some games where you question if he should be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and he's had quite a few games that's proven himself where he needs a big contract. And I think Seattle's definitely going to give him that at some point. The Seahawks are number 1 in the toughest division in football, being the NFC West. It was the Seahawks, the Rams, the 49ers. All those teams made the playoffs. You got the Arizona Cardinals, who had a season that just absolutely fell apart on themselves. But not only were they the best team, number 1 winning the NFC West, they were the number 1 team in all of the NFC. And they proved that to be the case when they won in Week 18 at San Francisco. Seattle also has the number 3 overall defense. Now, with this defense, 71.7% of the time, they're running zone coverage. And a lot of times when they run that zone coverage, they have split safeties in the secondary, which is cover 2, maybe cover 3. They got the shell, making sure nobody's passing the ball on them. And they do this. This is something crazy, okay? I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with the way I've got it written down, so I have to go back and hit some other things. But Seattle has the number 4 defensive pressure rate. Now, you're thinking, that means you're getting to the quarterback. You're scheming up stuff to mess up the offensive line that you're playing against. You're getting pressure. You're getting sacks. You're forcing bad throws. You're forcing, throwaways and stuff like that. That's what that means. But so number 4 in defense pressure rate, but the 4th lowest blitz rate. That just absolutely blew my mind. That means that they're using their 4-man rush and still getting to the defense, whatever the percentage is, they're getting to the quarterback with a 4-man rush, and they do it. They're the 4th best team in the league to do that. And I'm struggling to get this out because it doesn't make any sense to me how you just don't blitz and your front four just gets it done every time. So what does this mean when you look at it? New England, they're going to have to find success running the ball because, like I said, they run that split safety, the shell look, whether it's cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, maybe cover 6, cover 9, all that. It means, the safeties are split. They're staying back. They're producing that shell to keep everything in front of them. No big plays down the field. And then they use their 4-man rush to get the job done up front. New England, because of this, has to have success running the ball if they're going to stand a chance in this game. They have the number 2 overall rushing attack, which is very good, behind the Buffalo Bills. That's 4.4 yards a rush that they average, 129.2 yards per game that they average on 29.7, almost 30 rushing attempts per game. New England also has the number 9 offensive line, bars, in run blocking, but they're also near the bottom in pressure rate allowed on Drake May. Whenever they run the ball, they have success. Whenever they throw the ball, they are under pressure a lot of the time, and that's scary going up against this defense. It really is. And we've seen it time and time again here, just in the playoffs. Drake May running for his life, scrambling a lot. If he finds a hole, he can get it done, on the ground. But you think back to that Texans game. How many times was he getting hit and fumbling the ball? At least 3 or 4. You got a rookie left tackle in Will Campbell on the left side of the line, the blind spot, the protector of the quarterback. The number 1, pretty much most important offensive lineman is the one that protects the quarterback's blind side. He's a rookie, and he's going up against probably the best front 4 in the league. So that only emphasizes the importance of the run game for New England, and I feel like there's not going to be a whole lot of points scored in this game. I'm not necessarily saying look at the under. 45.5. It can easily go over, 26-20, 27-24 type of game. There's still not a whole lot of fireworks going on. I don't see it being like Seattle and the Rams a couple weeks ago where, it was 31-27. It was just a bunch of touchdowns. That's not the type of game that we're going to be looking at, although everybody kind of wants to see that. Since we're in the Super Bowl, it's the season finale. Let's just, light it up, show all the fireworks. But these are 2 really good defenses that are going to be going at it on Sunday nights. So does New England win? I don't know. Probably not. I'm hoping for a close and entertaining game. I'm hoping for a chess match. Now, if you see Seattle with the shell look, with the 2 safeties back, or cover 3, cover 4, something like that. If you see those 2 safeties staying back, New England has to run the ball. Now, if you see New England on the other side of the ball with just 1 safety back deep, then that can open up. They're going to have to force Kenneth Walker, tackle him up front, keep him contained. Sam Darnold's not going to run on you, although I played him in Madden the other day, and for some reason, Sam Darnold was Lamar Jackson. I don't think that's accurate, but it is a video game. But if you see that one-man safety look a lot for New England, then look for JSN, look for Rashid Shaheed, Cooper Kupp. Sam Darnold has proven that he's not going to turn the ball over. Maybe you want to look at Sam Darnold to throw an interception. I think it's minus 118. If you think that Sam Darnold's going to choke this game away, as he has proven before this season, when he was with the Vikings, he struggled mightily when he was with the Jets, but who's good with the Jets? Carolina, he had some games where he was okay, and then, they got rid of him because he wasn't consistent. And then he took that step back, stayed as a backup to Brock Purdy in San Francisco for a year before he went on to Minnesota, where he had a great season, regular season, and then choked the game away in the playoffs, which has kind of been the story of his career. But now had a great season in a great spot with a great team in Seattle. And if you think that's the type of game where Sam Darnold's not going to get it done. He's going to throw a couple picks. Then that's something to look at. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but I think this game is going to stay close, and we're going to take New England plus 4.5. Everybody is talking about Seattle winning this game. How many points are they going to win by? Those are the type of questions being asked, but the New England defense is very good. Christian Gonzalez is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Put him on JSN, have him shade coverage or whatever you call that, where he's just on JSN every play, no matter where he lines up, even if it's in the backfield. You also got Mike Vrabel. I've said time and time again this year, he's the best coach in the league. Mike McDonald is no slouch. He's a very good coach, defensive-minded coach. These are both defensive-minded guys. I don't see Mike Vrabel getting punked in this game. I think they keep it close, and I would not be surprised, as much as I hate to say it, if New England is your Super Bowl champions. I'm pulling for Seattle as far as money line because I just don't want to see that. I've seen it enough in my life. Somehow we're already back. They had the dynasty with Tom Brady. They became one of the worst teams in the league for 2 or 3 years. They draft a guy named Drake May. And here we are back again with Tom Brady talks. They're in the Super Bowl again. Meanwhile, as a Packers fan, I watch my team year in and year out just find ways to lose. So the official play, New England plus 4.5 here in Super Bowl 60. But that's not it, folks. I've got some game props that I like. Okay? And who would I be to not go over those with you guys in our last chance to bet on football this year? Until September. I'm not betting on preseason. That's a fact. So in our last episode of Public Fades here in 2026 or 2025 season, I guess, whatever you want to call that. Still don't understand how you... Is this a 26 season? It's the 25 season, right? I don't know. I did some deep diving. And this is where there may be some money to be made. I've got 4 plays here. These don't count as official plays. You already have the official play. But these, I kind of like. It's very possible I go 0-4. Okay. And technically 5, but one's going to be just kind of a sprinkle. We're going to begin with New England. I mean, I talked about how much importance there is for New England to establish the run and run the ball in this game. If they're going to have any success, if you look over at the first drive props for New England, there's a little button you can hit where you take New England 3+ rushing attempts plus 120. On the first drive, they have to rush the ball 3 times. I'm not sure if sacks count for that or not, but I see them handing the ball off to Ramondre Stevenson or Travion Diggs. Hopefully it's not a 3-and-out, because if it is a 3-and-out, I'm sure they throw the ball at least once in those 3 plays. But first play is definitely going to be a rush. Second play, maybe if they have success. And that's going to set us up for 3rd down, or maybe they get a 1st down. If they get a 1st down on the first drive, then I don't see how this doesn't hit. So first prop of the game, beginning it with the first drive for New England, 3+ rushing attempts plus 120. Now, a prop that you're going to be wondering why. Like, what? Why? We've got so many weapons that are going to be on display in this game. And I'm looking at Jake Bobo. What? Jake Bobo. This is a guy who, in the whole regular season, had 2 catches, 20 yards, no touchdowns. The whole regular season. Those are his season stats. Now that we've reached the postseason, he's got 2 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown. that we saw in the last game against the Rams. What I'm looking at is Jake Bobo, 5+ receiving yards, plus 198. That's basically one catch, buddy. Get us one catch. Now, the one that I'm going to sprinkle on a little bit just because, and I do have a signed collegiate football card from Jake Bobo, who I'm pretty sure it was UCLA where he played. Jake Bobo, anytime touchdown, plus 1,100. That's just a sprinkle, okay? That's just a sprinkle. Stay away from it. He's only had one touchdown all year, but it did come in the last game. Now, a couple game props that I've got on the docket for this week. I'm looking at, like I said, these are going to be two defenses going at it, slugging it out, duking it out, if you will. Any quarter to end scoreless. So both teams have to produce 0 points in one quarter for this to hit, plus 260. And the final prop that I've got, this one is like, I can see this happening and I can also see where this doesn't happen. New England, 7+ total kicking points. Extra points or field goals go into this category. 7+ total kicking points for New England, minus 125. And I swear, if this ends up being a windy game, if this ends up being a couple missed field goals on the night, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad. But we're taking New England 7+ total kicking points, minus 125. So there you have it. 3+ rushing attempts on the first drive for New England, plus 120. Jake Bobo, 5+ receiving yards, plus 198. Also sprinkle on an anytime touchdown for Bobo if you would like, plus 1,100. Any quarter to end scoreless for both teams in the same quarter, plus 260. And we've also got New England 7+ total kicking points, extra points, or field goals. Both go into this category. What's the word? Qualify. Extra points or field goals both qualify. 7+ total kicking points, minus 125 for New England. And the official play for Super Bowl 60 here on Public Fades. I don't like it. I wish I didn't have to, but we're going with New England plus 4.5. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Public Fades, the season finale Super Bowl 60 episode here on $1 Million Radio. Once again, I just want to thank you guys for all the support here on YouTube, over on TikTok at MD Minds. Really appreciate it. It's meant a lot to see the numbers grow throughout this football season. Like I said, I had no clue going into this year that Public Fades was going to even be a thing. And after week 1 of the NFL season, I had this idea because I went 4-0 fading the public. And I was like, man, this is a good idea, but like, what would I even call it? I'm fading the public. What would I call that? Ooh, Public Fades. You just walking down the street, start punching people, giving them fades. You go to a barbershop, get a haircut. That's a fade. Now you look at the percentages and see where the money's at for each individual matchup in the NFL slate, and we fade the public. And that's what it became. And I've had so much fun doing this for you guys, but also for myself. It's something that keeps me entertained, keeps me busy, something I do every week. Last week was the first week since there was no NFL games to bet on. That was the first week off that I didn't do public fades in 20 weeks, something like that, since week 1 when I got the idea to do this. So it's been a fun, awesome year. Couldn't have done it without the support from you guys here on YouTube and also on TikTok and all the social medias. So if you'd like to, go hit the subscribe button. Go follow us on TikTok and Instagram and all that at MD Minds on every platform that you can find. And I do have a surprise for you guys coming out. Don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after. It's going to take a lot of preparation, and I want to be able to do it right. but we will have one more episode of Public Fades for this year, and it will be exciting. It will be entertaining. I'm going to hopefully up the production value and look into different ways that I can really just put on the best performance for Public Fades 2025 Superlatives. And that will be coming out here in a couple weeks. So keep an eye out for that. Can't wait for that. It's going to be fun. Can't wait for the Super Bowl. Thanks for watching, everybody. And this will do it. This is the last episode where we have plays for the 2025 NFL season. Super Bowl 60 best bets here on Public Fades on $1 Million Radio, $1 Million Minds Entertainment here on YouTube. And as always, even if it's next year, even if it's a few months from now, no more Public Fades other than the fun superlatives video coming out. Whenever it shall be. We'll see you next time.